Hi there, Perfecto De Castro here, and welcome to this episode of PDC TV's Gear Talk. So today I'll be walking you through my live rig. You've probably seen clips and the videos of my pedalboard and my amp on my YouTube channel and on my website. And the reason I've been putting off putting this video together is mainly because of GAS, Gear Acquisition Syndrome. Every guitarist knows it and no one's impervious to it, so there. I finally found a setup that works and sounds great live, and I think it'll stay this way for the meantime until the latest and greatest comes along and GAS attacks again. So anyway, well, here we go. So let's start with my guitar. This is a Gibson Explorer Tremolo, a limited edition where it came stock with the Floyd Rose already installed. The Floyd Rose has a brass block for stability and sustain. I changed the knobs because I was not liking the black knobs. So, and for live use, I prefer the grip of the knurled knobs. The pickups are DiMarzio deactivators, and probably the most significant modification I made to this guitar is the switch right here. This is called the freeway switch. Basically, it's a 6-way toggle switch. And in the down position, I have 3 options. So 1, 2, 3. And then I can push the switch up and have 3 more options. So 1, 2, 3. So 6 in total. In the down position, I have all humbuckers. So this is the bridge humbucker. Middle down position is 2 humbuckers at the same time. And the third option in the down is the neck humbucker. Now in the up position, I get the coil splits. So this is the split bridge pickup. Split neck and bridge. And finally the split neck. This switch is really handy live because I have instant access to the humbuckers and the split coil sounds without having to deal with push-pull pots and mini toggle switches and all. And it keeps the look of the guitar really clean. So at first glance, it looks like an unmodded guitar, but when you hear it, it's got a plethora of sounds. So next up is my amp. This is a 1979 JMP 2203 100-watt Marshall. I got it already modified by Dave Friedman. It has the brown eye mod and the hairy brown eye mod. Of course, if you have a vintage Marshall head, you need to pair it with a vintage Marshall cabs. I have a couple of these vintage basket weave grill Marshalls, a slant version and the straight version. I usually gig with the slant version. I'm still waiting for a venue big enough so I can run the full stack. That'd be awesome. Hold on to your ears. Next up is this lunchbox thing right here. This is the Bad Cat Unleash. It's a 100-watt attenuator slash power amplifier. I don't necessarily use it to attenuate the volume of my head, but rather mainly for the effects loop, so I can run my effects through it and use the 4-cable method. But you do have the option to lower the volume at bedroom levels and still have the roaring Marshall sound. And I can turn it up and, you know, unleash the fucking fury. Turn it up some more. And that's only in the 10 o'clock position. When I gig, it's usually at the 1 o'clock position. So I'll probably overload the audio recorder at this point. Oh, and it has a switchable second channel, so I can preset it and access and switch between the two volumes for a solo boost if I need to. Okay, now on to the fun stuff. Here's my pedal board. I'm using a Pedal Train Pro to mount all these pedals. First up in my signal chain is the MXR Classic 108 Fuzz. I put it first because since it has a buffer, I have the option to buffer my signal through the pedals if I want to. Or I can turn it off and still have it true bypass. Now from the fuzz, the signal goes into a wah. It's a Crybaby 95Q with a boost. Now, there's a lot of debate whether it's fuzz before wah or wah before fuzz. For my purposes, since I'm playing into a distorted amp anyway, I'm just using the fuzz to color my amp's tone. Putting it in front of the wah and into the distorted guitar amp evens out the level, so there's no obnoxious jump in the level when I switch it on. So let's see how it sounds. So this is my basic guitar tone. So I have that really thick, almost to the point of blowing up sound available. It's great for like the old Hendrix tunes and Cream and whatnot. And if I want it brighter, I can switch on the buffer and it sounds more amp-like. Gives a little more bite to the sound. I pitch a wah. See, wah with the buffer off. Now from the wah, the signal goes into this switcher. It's a 5-loop switcher called the Iguana Tail Loop by One Control. This controls all my front of amp pedals. So this section right here, from the RC booster and the Boss pedal, all the way to this side. These are all front of amp pedals. Okay. And this section right here, the delay, the pog, the reverb, and the tremolo, these are in the effects loop. So loop 1 hosts the Guyatone Wah Rocker WR3. It's an envelope filter. Fun little pedal. Okay, now loop 2 hosts the Hendrix Reissue Univibe and the Dan Electro Milkshake calls. So here's the chorus. Here's the uni vibe. Okay, now loop 3 is what I call my Van Halen channel. It hosts the MXR script Phase 90, modified by Analog Man for true bypass and the 9-volt power jack. And then it also hosts the MXR micro flanger, which is great for the airplane sounds. So here it is. This is the Phase 90. Do the flanger. So loop 4 is my dirt channel. It hosts the Spark Booster by TC Electronic and the Boss Dual Overdrive SD2. If I use my Marshall at a gig, I don't switch the dual overdrive on. But if I'm at a gig where I have to use a different amp, that's when I engage that pedal. The Spark Booster, however, I use that to goose the gain a little bit if I need it for solos and whatnot. It's set to the mid mode, which is the true screamer-ish mode, and bump the level up a little bit and turn the gain down. So this is my main dirt tone, and this is with the Spark engaged. It doesn't really change it much, but you get a little more compression and sustain. Without, with. So loop 5 is my clean channel. It hosts the BBE Opto-Stomp compressor and Exotic Effects RC booster. And what I mean by clean channel is from here, basic amp tone. Okay, so the way this is set up, I'm using the RC booster not as a boost, but rather as an attenuator, or a reverse boost, if you will. So the way I have the RC booster set is that the gain is all the way down, 0, and then the volume is turned below unity gain. So in essence, I'm using it like a guitar volume knob, where you turn the guitar volume knob to clean up the guitar amp. Now the compressor cleans up the sound further because it smooths out all those spikes. So compared without the compressor, you get that hairy, semi-clean sound. And with the compressor, and I can get it even cleaner when I use the split coils on my guitar. Now I also have the option to stack the dirt channel onto this clean channel if I want maybe a slightly overdriven bluesy tone. So I get this, and I put the Spark on. So that's it for the front of amp pedals. The signal now goes through the output of the Iguana tail loop into my amp's input. Now I take the effects send of my Bad Cat Unleash and plug it into the first pedal of the effects loop section, okay, which is the Micropod by Electro Harmonics. So I use the Micropod to add dimension to my loops for sample putting a bass line on. Or if I'm in the high registers, it simulates a pipe organ. With the distortion, it's like you get this massive sound. And again, the church organ sounds. And there's also a YouTube clip of me messing around with the Micropod and the wah rocker, which is a nice, funky auto wah sound. Okay, so from the Micropod, the signal goes into the Hummingbird tremolo pedal by Earthquaker Devices. So it's a nice pedal. You get the vintage vibe from it, or if you go to mode 2, you get chopper type sounds. Now from the Hummingbird, the signal now goes into the TC Electronic Flashback X4 delay. I like this delay because it's like 4 different devices in one. In the delay mode, I have 3 kinds of delay readily available. So this is like an analog delay. The signal repeats, so I can thicken up like rhythms and leads and stuff. Let's see, the B switch is another analog delay with a wow and flutter and more feedback. The third preset I have is a reverse delay with no dry signal. It's like fake reverse guitar. This actually turns heads when I put it on. And another thing I like about this delay is that the looper mode has dedicated buttons for each function. One for record, one for pause or play, one for straight ending, and another for redo, which is great for live because I don't have to deal with double taps and all that. And on top of that, you still get the delay sound if you want to. Like. Lastly, the signal goes into the TC Electronic Hall of Fame reverb. It's on the spring reverb setting. I like it. Okay, now miscellaneous accessories. I have a Boss foot switch, which I hook up to the Bad Cat Unleash to access the channel 2 for a solo boost. I have Mogami cables running from the pedal board to the amp. I'm also using a lava cable retro coil for no particular reason. I just like a coily cable. So my board is powered by 2 Sanyo pedal juices right here. This one powers the front of amp pedals. This one powers the effects loop pedals. They work really good. I don't need to run wall warts in front of the stage, so I can set the pedal board pretty much wherever I want. Oh, and I also use a Groove Gear fret wrap, which is a really good string mute. And speaking of Groove Gear, I also use their Solo XL cart to move all this stuff around. It's nice and sturdy, wheels roll good, and it folds up small and doesn't take too much space up in the car. And lastly, I'm using a Get 'em straps, okay, with locks, LOXX strap locks. Okay. So there you have it. This is all the gear I currently gig with. And if you're in the Los Angeles area and would like to hear all this stuff in person, check out the calendar on my website, www.perfectodecastro.com. And you can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter. And also check out the band I'm playing with, Mystic Rain, mysticrainband.com. And you can find our singles on iTunes, the Google Play Store, and Amazon. Well, hope you enjoyed this run through. I'm going to play some more. See you next time.